Shields up, Iron Breakers. Rurikhan here coming at you with another video. Welcome back to Monster Hunter Rise, and in today's video we're going to be taking a look at the Charge Blade. It is the final weapon showcase, the only weapon that we haven't seen yet. So let's just check it out and see what it's all about with the Charge Blade for Rise.
A weapon that is both sword and axe. Charge it up in sword mode, then combine sword and shield into an axe and unleash the energy as a devastating attack.
So, super amped elemental discharge is what you're saying? Is that what we're talking about here? We got some Nursilla looking outfit here, I believe, or the Nursilla variant, or, you know, whatever you want to call it, variant or subspecies or whatever, the one with a big long neck. At least I would assume it's that, or maybe it's the default Nursilla one. I don't know. I honestly don't know, but it looks very, very good as far as I can tell so far. Let's take a look at the Silkbind attacks. We have the Morphing Advance. Unleash the moving force of a heavy axe. Uses Wire Bug to launch you forward while your Charge Blade switches to axe form. While in motion, monster attacks will knock you back or stun you. Can be chained into a variety of attacks after moving. So it's kind of like a rock steady attack, just jumping right into the monster. At least that's what it looks like. Then we have Counter Peak Performance. Get ready to punish incoming attacks. Ready your shield while stretching silk to the ground. Being hit while your shield is ready will fill your files to maximum. Ooh. Ooh, it's like a guard point, but it also charges your files to max if you actually get hit. I would assume that, considering that this move appears to be all about like anchoring yourself to the floor, I would assume this also gives you like max guard. At least that's what I would expect from a move like this, but we'll see. It looks like the hunter is actually fighting the great Izuchi in this video, so let's see what this is all about. Morphing Advance.
I'm gonna get you! You asked for this!
Counter
Mr.
Peak
Monster, meet
Performance.
Mr. Weapon! This is the end of the line for you!
Just counter that into a super amped elemental discharge, because why not? Okay, so I gotta admit, because, you know, I usually do these videos like in a row, one right after the other, well, when they come out, and if I don't seem overly impressed with the Charge Blade, it's not a negative thing. It's looking really solid. It's just because of how hyped the friggin' hunting horn was. The hunting horn was friggin' mind-blowing, but let's take a closer look at some of these moves here. So firstly, let me just say, this friggin' weapon almost looks like a Keyblade. It almost looks like a Keyblade from friggin' Kingdom Hearts. But yeah, let's keep going here. So we have the shield advancing thing still. So that's the one of the follow-up attacks that you can do with the Charge Blade, and it's a very useful one to, you know, to interweave in between combos and whatnot. We have the super amped elemental discharge. That is the this right here is one of the Silkbind art that fills up your files. It looks like we still have the condensed, I don't remember the exact name of it, the condensed power slash whatever. It's basically the one where you fully charge your shield, and then if you release it at the right time, your character will bah! But you have to hit a button to attack. I don't know, because I just do it out of muscle memory at this point. Because even though I would not consider Charge Blade to be my main, during the base game, so during World, Charge Blade was actually my most used weapon, even though I considered Gunlance to be my main. I think it's Condensed Elemental Slash, that's what they call it. That's nice to see. Okay, let's see what else we got. So we got your regular aerials. They always kind of start with an aerial attack for pretty much every weapon, it seems like. So boom, and you can draw into axe, which, you know, it's not like it's a big news that you'd be able to draw into axe. You can instantly channel into going through the circled attacks. You got your regular amped elemental discharge. Have a double slash, which is one of the signature moves of the charge blade. You have guard points. That's essentially what he's doing right here. That's a guard point, which, you know, I don't think anyone expected not to have guard points in the charge blade. Guard point into counter there. Then we have the super amped elemental discharge, and it's gonna look like the world super amped elemental discharge, because in previous games it didn't have like the following lightning. Like the super amped elemental discharge would just unload, at least if I remember correctly, in previous games it would just unload all of your files into the monster's head, kind of like an amped elemental discharge but slightly more powerful. And there you go. The Morphing Advance. This is a very interesting one to me, because it seems like there's no actual attack component to it. It just gives you like invincibility frames to actually swap around. Does he even have... Yeah, he does. I was wondering if he had his weapon sheath or if he was going from unsheathed into that. But I think that this is an art that you're probably not going to want to do unless your weapon is unsheathed, because it just feels like a waste. Like if you're doing this art with a sheathed weapon, feels like a waste. I mean, it's like what the advantage of this is that it gives you an advancing move, which you can run if your weapon is sheathed. Gives you an advancing move and morphs it into axe mode for you to just follow up with whatever combos you do. Now, the thing that's a little bit off-putting to me is the fact that it doesn't seem like you're getting new combos, which is what I expected from the description of this skill. Like, I expected you to actually get new combos in the weapon after you did the charge, but this just looks like... It looks like the standard, you know, circle attack. I say circle because you guys know I played mostly on the PS4, right? So this looks like your standard, you know, secondary attack of the charge blade. And if you have files, naturally that's going to deal more damage. This move is pretty cool though. Counter peak performance, like it just straight up fills your files. All you got to do is time it right, and you should be able to time it right if you are a decent charge blade main, because you're used to doing guard points. So this is just like a more forgiving guard point from what I can tell, because I mean, just look at it. Look at how long it stays in there, right? That's a long ass time. So like you don't even have to take into account like the guard point timing. If anything, I almost suspect that some charge blade mains might actually miss the timing of this particular skill because it's so forgiving and they're used to having their guard points not be as forgiving as this. But this is a really good move. It's a really good move because you could like, oh, they actually counter into condensed. Like, look at that. They counter into a condensed elemental slash. I was expecting to see the amped discharge or the super amped elemental discharge, but you can counter into a slash as well, which is pretty cool. And you can also counter into an SAD, of course. Looking hella good. Looking hella good. Charge blade mains, rejoice! Your weapon is looking hella good. But anyway, that's going to be it for this video. That's really all I have to say, man. I mean, we're getting pretty much all of the moves that we had back in World, coupled together with a couple of new Silkbind moves. Nothing too, you know, out there. But then again, this weapon has seen some significant new additions to it during Iceborne, whereas other weapons maybe haven't seen as much. Wait, there wasn't the Savage Axe Slash. I'm actually not sure about Savage Axe Slash, because if you actually take a look at this particular scene right here, you can see that there's a lot of spinning on the shield, but then again, there's always spinning on the shield whenever you're doing a super amped elemental discharge. But whether or not it spins quite this much, I'm not 100% sure. And we also haven't seen all of these Silkbind attacks for this weapon. So, you know, at this point, I just don't know enough about it. But either way, that is going to be it for this video. If you enjoyed it, hit it up with a like. If you did not enjoy it, hit it up with a dislike. Feedback is important. Thank you very much for watching. I'll see you guys in the next one. If you usually enjoy the content, subscribe, hit the bell notification icon, all of that stuff. Stay strong, stay safe, peace out.